This is RTV6 News at 6, working for you.
More than 100 IPS school bus drivers could soon be out of a job after the district announced major changes to its transportation department. Our Troy Washington is working for you, getting reaction from the union and finding out what's next for those affected drivers. Plus, plans for a new casino in Terre Haute are now on hold. Why the company behind the gaming venue is now under investigation. And as people in Australia continue to deal with the devastating bushfires, some Hoosiers are now stepping up to help. The creative way one company is giving back and how you can join in their efforts. But first, here at 6 o'clock, your Storm Team 6 forecast. It has been a cold and windy Saturday. Light snow has been falling throughout the day, and we saw several people, as you see there, out downtown bundled up. Roads have been wet, but the snow hasn't really been sticking. The big question, will that light snow continue into the rest of the evening? Thanks for joining us here at 6 o'clock. I'm Nicole Griffin in the Storm Team 6 Tracking Center with meteorologist Kyle Mounds. Kyle, it's not been a very nice Saturday at all.
No, it's been a little damp, a little bit sloppy out there, but as mentioned, much of the snow has been off of the roadways. Didn't add up to a whole lot. You can see just 1/10 of an inch officially measured in Indianapolis. What's more impressive is that that's our first measurable snow of the month of January. And here we are on the 25th of the month, and this might be it for the month as we go into the books. We'll see. We got a few days left, but right now, most of the snow winding down. You can see just a few snow showers left around Logansport and Peru this evening. Here's how it all played out over the last 12 hours. That swath of snow spiraling through central and northern portions of the state here through much of the afternoon, but now it's going to continue to move on off toward the north and east, and we're left with these cloudy skies. The clouds are not going anywhere this evening, and really for the next couple of days, our temperatures right now are hovering around the freezing mark, which again is helping us out there on the roads, and we won't see those temperatures moving a whole lot through the next few hours. But if you're heading out, make sure you layer up, because that breeze is going to continue to drive down those wind chills into the 20s. Most of us will be in the upper 20s as you head out the door on Sunday morning. We'll take you hour by hour through the rest of your forecast in a few minutes.
All right, Kyle, thank you. Now, this is a live look at our road conditions tonight. We have a photographer out in our RTV6 live drive vehicle downtown. INDOT is watching road conditions tonight on our interstates. Tonight, starting at 6 o'clock, they are now patrolling and looking for slick spots with about 20 trucks in the Indianapolis area. INDOT says crews are prepared to adjust if necessary. Meanwhile, on city streets, as you see here, the Indianapolis Department of Public Works has had crews out since last night at 11 o'clock. Another full shift of 80 workers then reported this morning at 11 a.m. to clear routes from light snow overnight. But as you see from this live picture, roads just seem to be wet. An emergency meeting being called today by the bus drivers union after dozens of IPS school bus drivers learn their job could be on the line due to a change in contracts they never saw coming. In fact, IPS admits this will impact the jobs of at least 135 employees. Troy Washington is working for you tonight to find out what came out of that meeting.
The point of the meeting, held here and closed to the public, was to discuss what's next for the worried workers. A lot of them say they never saw this coming, and it's left these bus drivers in a state of shock.
These folks have been loyal on both ends, and to say, oh, you got to reapply, that's kind of a slap in the face to workers.
David Robertson is the executive director of the American Federation of State, County, and Municipal Employees, Council 962, and he's still reeling from finding out about Indianapolis Public Schools' decision to stop operating its own transportation department.
It caught us off guard, there's no doubt, and I think the anxiety amongst the employees is absolutely real. And justified.
He claims workers weren't even given a say-so or a heads up before the decision was made, and he's wondering how they'll fare against the switch.
We asked them to, let's get some answers. They refused, said it's not up for negotiation.
Many are left with questions like, will they keep their jobs, and what happens to their retirement plan?
What happens to their PERF? Those folks that have been that have been employed with IPS transportation for years.
Right now, he says all that is clear is that Durham is done come June, then first student is in, and IPS will save loads of money.
Where's that $7 million going at this point?
It's a decision these bus drivers say that they will fight, especially since their livelihood is on the line. Working for you in downtown Troy, Washington, RTV6.
Troy, thank you. In an act of solidarity, many bus drivers say they'll attend Tuesday's school board meeting to get the answers they are in search of. All new now here at 6 o'clock. Plans for a new Terre Haute casino are now on hold. The Indiana Gaming Commission is investigating the company behind the casino, Spectacle Entertainment. This after a political consultant for Spectacle pleaded guilty to federal charges of illegally funneling campaign contributions. The commission was set to meet next month to consider granting Spectacle the Terre Haute casino license. That meeting has now been postponed. Spectacle, which was the only company to bid for the license, also owns the 2 Gary casinos along Lake Michigan. Tonight, as people in Australia continue to deal with the devastating bushfires here in central Indiana, there is a relief effort underway. Pottery Bayou on West 86th Street opened its doors today to people wanting to give back. For just $21, people bought and painted a koala mug. 100% of the sales will go directly to the Australian Wildlife Rescue Organization. We talked with the manager of the store, who says they were trying to come up with a way to give back to Australia and the community as they deal with the loss of all their animals. They thought by painting the koala mug and raising money, it would make a great contribution.
It's easy. We want to be part of the community, and the community was wanting to give back, and we decided that this would be a great way to have the community come in, enjoy some time, come in with your family, enjoy family time, and also give back to a wonderful cause.
Pottery Bayou closes tonight at 8 o'clock, but if you can't make it today, money will be collected for relief efforts through Saturday, January 31st. Country Kitchen has gotten major support from the community after a devastating fire destroyed part of its building, and that includes a generous donation from one Hoosier in particular. Colts owner Jim Irsay donated $25,000 to the GoFundMe campaign for the restaurant. That's half of the campaign's $50,000 goal. So far, more than 180 people have donated, raising a total of $41,545. Investigators say the fire at the restaurant started in a downstairs office. Foul play is not suspected. It's still unclear when the restaurant will reopen, but the owners say they will keep the community updated. Shoppers and book lovers are raising money this weekend to support services that help young children right here in Indianapolis. Today, the first book sale of the year was held at the Library Services Center. Shoppers were able to buy new and used books at a discounted price. All of the money raised supports library programs through the Indianapolis Public Library Foundation. The programs help kids develop literacy skills, but many aren't covered by tax dollars, and that's where the foundation steps in. The coordinator of the Indy bookstore says people love coming out for the bargains. He says the most expensive book is just $3.
Yeah, they get very excited about it. We have people who've been coming here for decades, and they take our little calendar of events home, and they plan to come each time. We see them every time. We know their names, and they become part of our community.
There are more sales coming up next week on Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. Details can be found on the Indianapolis Public Library's event page. It's Hollywood's biggest night, and now you can bet on which stars will take home the prize. The Indiana Gaming Commission has approved Oscars betting. Wagers can be placed at casino sports books or through online sports betting apps. Indiana joins New Jersey, which became the first state last year to accept wagers on the Oscars. You can watch the 92nd Academy Awards February 9th beginning at 8 p.m. right here on RTV6. Calling all knitters, the Indiana Pacers are looking for volunteers to knit beanies to promote the 2021 NBA All-Star Weekend in Indianapolis. The beanies will be given to volunteers and hospitality employees working All-Star Weekend. They will also be given as gifts to players, coaches, and other NBA VIPs. The Pacers will be holding several knit-along events throughout the year to help meet their goal of 6,000 beanies. You can find more on how to get involved on the RTV6 app. All-Star Weekend is scheduled for February 12th through 14th next year. After weeks of delays, the Circle of Lights are finally stored away for the season. Weather conditions had prevented crews from taking down the lights and decorations, so this year we all got to enjoy them for a little longer than usual. Today conditions weren't ideal, but crews were able to safely take down more than 4,000 LED lights. About 75 union members with the International Brotherhood of Electrical Workers 481 teamed up to take down the holiday centerpiece on Monument Circle. Volunteers started working at about 6:45 this morning and braved the cold weather and light snow until they took down all of those lights. We talked to crews while they worked, who estimated it took them about 6 hours.
Maybe about 6 hours. We've got 2 teams pulling rope, and we've got 2 teams pulling lights down and putting them in barrels. All out here in the cold, all out here for the community of Indianapolis and the surrounding areas, so it's all for a good cause.
Aside from the lights, crews had to take down more than 6 miles of electrical wire and more than 2 miles of garland today. The decorations had been up since November. As the deadly coronavirus continues to spread, leaders across the world are taking extra precautions. Coming up, the drastic steps some countries are taking to keep their citizens safe. And a new park dedicated to all things Super Mario is opening up soon. Up next, we've got all you need to know about Super Nintendo Land, including when you can visit. Kyle.
And the cold air is carving out a big chunk of real estate here across the Midwest, but some signs of warmth coming our way. I'll let you know when things will start to get a little warmer. You're watching RTV6 News at 6.
2020 Jeep Cherokee models in dealer stock.
This is RTV6 News at 6, working for you.
Today, President Trump's legal team began laying out their defense. This after House impeachment managers spent nearly 24 hours delivering their opening statements. The president is charged with abusing his power and obstructing Congress. The accusation stemming from a 2019 phone call with Ukraine's president, during which President Trump asked for an investigation into Joe Biden. In his opening statements, White House counsel Pat Cipollone said he plans to prove the president's innocence, also saying the Democrats have failed to prove their case.
We don't believe that they have come anywhere close to meeting their burden for what they're asking you to do. In fact, we believe that when you hear the facts, you will find that the president did absolutely nothing wrong.
The president's legal team has 24 hours over several days to make their case. After that, senators will have 16 hours to question each side. A decision on whether or not to allow witnesses is expected to come during that time. Cases of the coronavirus continue to rise. There are now nearly 1,400 confirmed cases around the world and more than 40 deaths. World leaders and health officials are now taking extra precautions to prevent the spread of the virus. Melissa Rainey joins us now with the measures they are taking.
Major events canceled, people evacuated, hospitals stretched thin, all in response to the Wuhan coronavirus. Saturday, Chinese President Xi Jinping told officials in Hubei province, where Wuhan is situated, to do more to prevent the virus from spreading and to put all patients in centralized quarantine for treatment. It appears health officials are working hard to do so. Crews in Wuhan even working to build a second hospital in the next 15 days just to accommodate coronavirus patients. At least 15 cities in China are under a travel ban, while other countries work to get its citizens out. Sources say the U.S. is arranging a charter flight to evacuate diplomats and U.S. citizens from Wuhan, the CDC confirming it is part of that effort. The French government says it's planning to set up a bus service to move out French nationals. The virus has already spread to 13 places outside mainland China, including the U.S. and Australia.
We are taking precautionary action in regards to those tests, those cases, in terms of contacting close contacts, just to keep them on watch.
Major landmarks around China have also closed, including Shanghai Disneyland. The Hong Kong Marathon, scheduled for weeks from now, has already been canceled amid fears of the outbreak. The event's 70,000 participants will get refunds. I'm Melissa Rainey reporting.
Melissa, thank you. Fears of the coronavirus didn't stop people from celebrating the new year in China. Today begins the Year of the Rat. The holiday is also known as the Lunar New Year. It also corresponds with the first full moon of the year. In Chinese culture, it's an occasion to be spent with family, and many celebrate for about 2 weeks. The rat is the first sign of the Chinese zodiac, so this year also symbolizes the start of a new 12-year cycle. People who are born under the rat sign are said to be optimistic and energetic. The rat is also a symbol of fertility. So what does that mean, Kyle?
That's a very positive spin on a rat, I would say. But, well, Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
You know, it was that kind of snow today that was nice to see and didn't have a real big impact on the roads and that kind of thing.
They were just wet mainly.
Yeah, so we're here in January, so still getting in on a little bit of snow activity. You can see we got plenty of cloud cover, not much in the way of precipitation left. A little closer view here shows still some of that light snow shower activity around Logansport back to Hartford City, but with those temperatures right around the freezing mark, even radars picking up here where we have a little bit of that wintry mix. Could see some additional very light accumulations in the northern areas now that we're getting past sunset. Temperature wise, yeah, those numbers are helping us out there on the roadways, hovering right around 32 degrees, reporting some of that patchy drizzle around Indianapolis. So as the temperatures fall tonight, watch out for a couple of isolated slick spots. Those winds are certainly not helping out our temperatures, driving down the wind chills now into the lower and middle 20s. Feels like 23 in downtown, feels like 22 in Columbus. By tomorrow morning, we'll start off around 30 degrees. Quite a bit of cloud cover, but at least it's going to be a dry day for us. Those clouds, though, going to limit any warmth. We'll only make it into the middle and upper 30s, and not to mention that breeze that's going to be around 10 miles per hour. So these highs are going to feel more like the 20s for much of the day as we get into the afternoon. Wind chills right around 30 degrees. So another day you're going to need to layer up. But some good news here, we have surpassed what is typically our coldest point in the year, January 10th through the 19th, where our average high is 35 and the average low is 20. Now, the warmer side of things here as we get through much of the month of July, that's our warmest time of year, with that average high in the middle 80s and average low in the middle 60s. Now, some sunshine, that would go a long way in helping us warm up right now. Not going to see any of that here as we go throughout our Sunday. There's TrueCast. See the gray and the cloud cover, but at least we're not dealing with any snow or wintry weather here as we go throughout the day on Sunday, and really even into Monday. Those clouds are going to stay pretty much locked into place here across the Hoosier State, but temperatures still could be a lot worse than this. We'll make it just above average for those afternoon highs in the upper 30s Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. There's that average now at 36, and it's just going to keep climbing. 7-day planning forecast now as we put it all together, and you notice that one day looks very much like the next here. Quite a bit of cloud cover over the next week, but it should be a pretty quiet stretch of weather as well, with lows in the 20s, highs that will make their way into the 30s. It's not until the end of the week that we'll see those numbers climbing back into the 40s, and that also comes with a small chance for some rain and snow Friday and Saturday.
All right, Kyle, thank you. Calling Mario, Luigi, and Princess Peach. If you know any of those names, you are ready for Universal's upcoming attraction. Universal Studios will soon have a new park based on Nintendo characters. Super Nintendo World will open this year in Osaka, Japan. Another will then be launched here in the U.S. in 2023. That will go up at Universal Orlando in Florida. Attractions will include a restaurant, shops, and rides based on classic Nintendo video game locations. Guests will also be able to wear a power-up band to immerse themselves in the video game universe. Sounds like a lot of fun. Boeing is unveiling a new plan coming up why the debut was postponed and when it will officially be put into service. And a Purple Heart recipient now has several more hearts. Straight ahead, how people across the world are making sure this vet has a very happy Valentine's Day.
January 22nd to the 27th.
Boeing's newest plane, the 777X, took its inaugural flight today. Windy weather had postponed the maiden flight since Thursday. The new 777X has composite fiber wings replacing the traditional aluminum ones. The wings are the largest Boeing has ever built at 114 feet long and 23 feet wide. The model also has a new engine, all new systems, and an all-new design for the interior. The company says it has already received 320 orders for the new plane. It's expected to enter intercontinental service next year. Stay with us here. The News at 6 continues right after this break.
Promotion for just $259 a month.
He's got a Purple Heart now. He just wants Valentine's hearts. 104-year-old Major Bill White has been overwhelmed by the outpouring of love and gratitude from people around the world. For Valentine's Day, the World War II veteran had one wish: to just receive a few Valentine's Day cards. And Operation Valentine turned out to be a huge success. Major White has already received over 25,000 cards and gifts from people around the globe. Some came from as far as Brazil and Japan. Others were made by students in a local grade class. Love that story.
So awesome, and he's got a lot of reading to do here. Tomorrow's going to be a good day to stay in and do some reading here at home. We'll have those temperatures only making their way into the upper 30s, lots of cloud cover, but it should be dry and wind chills that are going to be in the 20s.
All right, Kyle, thank you, and thanks for joining us. We'll see you right back here at 11.